Who is the mysterious warrior woman James Gunn is casting for Man of Tomorrow? Is it Wonder Woman, Big Barda, or someone completely unexpected? We've got the casting breakdown that has every DC fan theorizing right now, plus major villain reveals and everything new this week in Superman news. Welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, your number one Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice, and joining me are my two good friends and co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Hello, Michael.
Sorry, I was just reading that apparently Netflix is going to buy Warner Brothers and bring back the Snyderverse.
It's
Yeah,
really?
so many other
Oh,
things.
It's not the
This
I
is
Saudis?
gonna
heard that rumor.
no, it's not. No, the Saudis. There are so many jokes I want to make to that would get
I've
you
heard that. I
booted
saw
off of
that
like
too. Yeah, yeah.
all the social media. So I'm not going to make that joke. But still, no. Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. And hello, Mark Lax. Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Oh, we're starting with the jokes early tonight. Yeah.
Oh, people see the people in the comments seem to appreciate the my lame attempts at humor. So I'm gonna try to keep with that. So. You know.
Very good. Well, welcome to tonight's show. We want to start off by thanking our sponsors and our patrons, our Superman homepage champions. Thank you so much to Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, and Kara Laka. Thank you so much for your financial support, keeping this show free for everyone. We really appreciate you being a Superman homepage champion. And if you'd like to join those folks and have your name read out at the beginning and end of every show, then simply go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks. All right. Well, gentlemen, we have lots to get through tonight, but we also, at some point in time, can take live callers if people want to get involved in tonight's show. So, Michael, how do they go about getting involved in Superman Homepage Live?
Go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button. And that'll take you into the green room where you can actually watch the show while you're waiting to get on. Now, if you want to use your smartphone to do that, you can take it and scan the QR code that's next to me. It even says scan me, so you know that's the thing you want to scan. And you can watch the show that way. Now, if you are watching the show on your laptop or desktop and you do get on as a live caller, please, and you're using an external speaker, I guess I should say, an ad, please mute that because we're on a bit of a delay because I don't know if you all know this. I have an atrocious language problem. I cuss like up and down. Steve's a master at cutting it when I'm starting to get too blue. So we need that pausing thing. Also, if you're using your smartphone, please don't use this speakerphone function on it because it's got this crackle. It's terrible. That has nothing to do with my terrible language.
So I guess the point is there, use headsets, earphones, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call them, if you're going to be a caller tonight. And look, if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to get on the phone to talk to us live tonight, then feel free to participate in the comments. Mark, Michael, and I can see what you're saying, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube tonight. So feel free to participate in the comments there with live call people who are watching us live. We can react to any questions or comments you might have as the show goes live tonight. All right, with all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's get into tonight's topics. Firstly, but if you are on Instagram and you want to see the full picture and you're only seeing the middle third, then feel free to go to supermanhomepage.com/live to watch the full widescreen version of the show. All right, in movie news, which is like what we like to start with most every week, the big announcement at the beginning of the week was The Wrap exclusively revealing that the main villain of the upcoming Man of Tomorrow film is, as we anticipated, Brainiac. Now, we haven't had a confirmation, although we kind of have, because James Gunn keeps hinting at brain stuff on his social media accounts, putting microscopic images of what they found the brain to look like. And as we saw on the cover of his first, or one of the drafts of his script, there was the human brain. So everyone pretty much has already got the idea that it is Brainiac. But the super hyper intelligent alien villain will serve as the main antagonist where Superman and Lex Luthor will have to join forces to defeat this big bad enemy. Thoughts on Brainiac being confirmed? I guess we kind of all anticipated that was going to be the way they were going.
I mean, this is something they've been trying to do in the films for years. The Superman 3, the Salkinds were thinking about doing Brainiac, and they decided not to. He was the villain in Kevin Smith's in the various Tim Burton Superman films. I think he was going to be the villain in the proposed sequel to Superman Returns. So it's one of those things where everyone's really excited about it, and I'm glad everyone's really excited about it. But I wish people would stop acting like this is the first time we're ever getting a live action Brainiac, because we've had that at least twice now. Say what you will about Krypton, Brainiac looked dead comic book accurate in that show.
100%.
I'm just wondering what version are we getting, because like Mike just said, in Krypton, I mean, that was just like, to me, the definitive Brainiac at that point, and that Brainiac is still kind of the Brainiac we see even in the comics now. So they can't do the exact same thing, obviously, but how are they, and I'm assuming if he's going to be this big threat, he's coming from the stars, so he's probably that Brainiac. He's not, I don't, you never know. I mean, he could be the Kryptonian AI, like from the animated series, which is one of my favorite Brainiacs. I love that Brainiac. It's just, I'm just wondering what version, how they're going to make him look, because again, too many of us that Jeff Johns Gary Frank version is kind of the definitive version now, and they've already done that in Krypton. So I'm just curious as to what he's going to look like, where he's coming from, and that whole thing.
Yeah, well, I guess there's two versions that they could and probably will. It would be the main two. Would be the green-skinned, circles on his head version. That's an alien. That is the collector of worlds. Or they could go with the mechanical, robotic, as you said, animated series version that is like an AI type of, artificial intelligence that has done the same thing. So whether it's a robotic version or whether it's a Kaluan alien green skin version remains to be seen. Not many people who go see this film will even know that Krypton, the TV series, existed. So I don't think that they have to stay away from doing something similar. Yes, the hardcore Superman fans will then compare one across, to the other, but the general movie audience may not even know who Brainiac is, let alone know that there was a Krypton TV series where they did a live action version. But Michael, what was the other live action version? I know we haven't seen Brainiac on the big screen in a theatrical movie sense. We've seen him on TV in Krypton. What was the other live action version that you alluded to?
James Marsden on Smallville?
Oh, of course. I don't even think of him as Brainiac because he was just
that's the thing. He was Milton Fine, and we had Milton Fine on Superman and Lois too. Actually, if I wear my hair down, I kind of look like the comic book version of that character when he first appeared. So maybe I should toss my hat in the ring. I think the most important thing is that Brainiac needs to have a pair of pants, a decent pair of pants. But then Solomon Grundy's going to want pants too. So no, it's just the thing about you hit on something there, Steve, that I think is really important. And I think it's something that Superman fans, like hardcore online Superman fans, really need to think of. When they were coming up with, when Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and all them were coming up with Superman the Animated Series, they made Brainiac part of Superman's origin. And there was a point in their meetings where they were like, well, everybody's going to know everyone's going to not like that because everybody knows he wasn't. And then they're like, wait a second. Everyone doesn't know that. I mean, the general audience does not know that. So I think no matter what they go for, whether it is the giant muscular, Brainiac who's been hitting the weights, the Zack Snyder Brainiac, I guess you could say, the Jeff Johns gave us, or the George Perez designed robot from the Superpowers, or even
Yeah.
kind of going back a little further and doing like the the more alien, just a guy with green makeup and things on his head. Uh, whatever they do, it's gonna be probably something a little different from what
Mm.
we've seen, because like Lex was Lex and looked like Lex, but he wasn't the Lex that he wasn't exactly the Lex we've seen before. Same with Superman, same with Lois, same with everything that James Gunn has done with this franchise. So I think the big thing is that I think it's just exciting that he's finally getting this big screen treatment that everybody's been wanting, and now we can move on to wanting Metallo.
Yeah, the next one. Yeah, I mean, Brainiac's been around since 1958 when he first debuted in Action Comics
Yeah,
242. So it's been around a long time. And yeah, we don't know which version we'll get. We can't forget someone in the Mind the Gap reminds us about My Adventures as Superman did a robotic, artificial intelligence version of Brainiac that came from Krypton as well, but a bit more alien and a bit more, sinister. So there are multiple versions that they could pull from. So we'll wait and see exactly where they go. And Anthony, great to see him on Instagram, says hopefully they can claim that Brainiac was the one who, doctored the the message from Lara and Jor-El. But I still don't think that will be the case, because James Gunn has said that is
no,
just who they are. So I don't think they're going to go that way. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what kind of Brainiac they come with. But I think, Michael, I can see you shaking your head. I think fans just have to let go of the fact that
yeah,
Lara and as Lara and Jor-El are just who they are in this version, because not both Superman's set of parents do not have to be heroes.
yeah. It's just I'm laughing not because I'm trying to make fun of anybody. I don't want it to come off that I'm trying to be mean or anything. It's just I'm chuckling because it's just this thing that like people aren't letting go.
Mm.
Like the movie's been out almost 5 months now. Basically, God, has it been 5 months? Because it really feels like 3 years at this point. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe that's just how reality is at the moment. But it's just that was one of the things that I thought of. Is just like, is it going to be that Brainiac? And I don't think James Gunn would do that.
Mm.
If he does, fine. I just think it just takes away from the emotional core of what Superman 2025 was. Uh, just sorry, diabetic Superman says skip Metallo, bring us Titano. I could totally see that as like an opening scene thing. But no, my point
Yeah.
is that the emotional core of that film was that Superman was being Superman because he thought that was what his parents sent him there to do, and at the end he's Superman because it's what he's chosen to do because he's a good person deep down. And if you reveal, oh, it was a fake thing, then that kind of that cheats a little from that
Mm.
ending.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now, let me just say that, at the end of the movie, it's pretty clear, yes, that was the actual message. And then when James Gunn said it, I mean, it's like, leave it alone.
Yep.
Leave it
Move on,
alone.
folks.
If
Move
they
on.
change, if you see the movie and they do something different, okay. But right now, that's the message. Just let it go. Let it go
Yeah.
for now.
Let it go for now. All right. What about the theory from a lot of fans? And I think Kara in the comments says of Rick Flag Sr. possibly being Brainiac in disguise.
Mm,
Well, it wouldn't be the first time a military official ended up being an alien in
mm.
these movies. We're going to be wishing somebody a happy birthday later. That was revealed to be, a superpowered being that just watched Kryptonians wipe out Metropolis and did nothing. Uh, I'm not going to let that go. Uh, that it's an interesting I one of the things that I love though is this kind of conversation going on in the comments of people like throwing out like theories and stuff because they're probably not going to happen, but it shows a level of excitement and engagement. Even people who are saying, I hope that the message ends up being proven to be fake, at least you care, right? At least you're emotionally invested in what you're watching in a somewhat healthy way.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony saying that Gunn left a plot hole and that Supergirl could easily translate what his parents actually said. The translation is not the question. It's whether or not the second half of the message was legit.
Yeah.
And we know it's legit. The robots admit now that the second half of you don't need Supergirl. The Kryptonian robots in his fortress could have told him if the second half of the message was fake once the fortress was rebuilt. So there's no plot hole. It is the second half of the message was fixed and it's been revealed, and end of story. Superman chose to do the right thing because he knows it's the right thing to do, not because he was sent here on a mission to do what his parents told him to do. So moving on. All right, let's go on to the other bit of news in regards to a mysterious casting that announcement that has supposedly been put out there. Nexus Point News says that their sources tell them that James Gunn is searching for a woman in her late 20s to play a specific physical requirement, that is above average height, a strong physique, and an edgy presence to appear in the upcoming movie. Now, the strong physique and above average height have led people to think Wonder Woman, Big Barda. Michael, you're shaking your head. Where do you think this is going?
Maxima.
Oh.
I'm with an edgy attitude, above average. I mean, and Brainiac. Because if you look at if you look at Panic in the Sky from 1992, Maxima was on Brainiac's side. So I'd love. Oh man, live action. Well, we have had live action Maxima, to be fair, in various forms, even not named Maxima, as like on the Superboy television series. But no, like when you were reading that off, I'm like, that sounds like Maxima. That doesn't sound. I don't think like who would introduce Wonder Woman in a Superman film?
I like what you did there.
Huh? Yeah. that would be like, wow, Wonder Woman in a Superman film.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be crazy, and give her like a really great theme song.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Maxima's
I like
great
that.
because, like you said, in Panic in the Sky, she was with him. Now, what she turned in the end, but yeah, that would be a great idea to have Maxima. Wonder Woman. If they're gonna do Wonder Woman, let her do her own thing. And Big Barda's possible, but where does she come into? We don't know the whole story, of course, but where would she come in from?
Big Barda, you're bringing in the whole New Gods, and
that's
exactly
very complicated.
That's something you need to deal with, not just int add.
Yes,
right.
I agree.
So,
Kara is saying, I thought Wonder Woman's name was Diana. Yeah, it is Diana. Diana Prince is Wonder Woman's alter ego, if you like. We're talking about Maxima, who's a completely different character. She comes from what's the planet?
Almerac.
Where she comes to Earth seeking Superman as a consort to, extend to, procreate with, and wants him as her man, and won't take no for an answer, and the rest is history. But that's an interesting, and as Michael said, she has been, and Mark said in previous comic book stories, there has been Maxima and Brainiac, together at one point. So would be a very interesting way to go, and I could definitely see James Gunn going down that path.
Yep, I mean she's visually a very striking character. She has a really good motivation most of the time. When she was introduced, as you said, it was I think Superman would be great to mate with. So I'm gonna shoot my shot, and then she became part of the Justice League. So and fought Doomsday. So,
yeah,
I just think give when you look at where James Gunn looks at in the comics, like Grant Morrison's a big part of that, but he's got his head in the '90s in a big way.
Yeah, he does. Very much so. Celeste saying, What about Power Girl? I think Power Girl is too similar to Supergirl. I mean, they are both they are both a version of Supergirl. So I think that would be too complicated and unnecessary because we already have Supergirl. So I don't see the need for a Power Girl. I see, the whole edgy presence to me sounds more like somebody who is a little bit either a villain or a anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see where that goes. But yeah, interesting speculation there about who this female character might be that they are seeking casting choices for. All right, well, speaking of casting decisions, Frank Grillo has admitted that he is returning to play Rick Flag Sr. in Man of Tomorrow. He says that he'll be diving into a 10-week production schedule across the UK and Georgia and Atlanta for the DC Universe follow-up film. And I guess that's no real big surprise to anybody that he'll be a big part of this, especially if we're, thinking about where Peacemaker Season 2 ended off and how that might lead into Man of Tomorrow. And, this whole Salvation Run thing. So you'd think that he would be front and center in part of that story.
Yeah, sorry, you said Atlanta, and I want to start ranting, and I'm not going to. I like the fact that they're bringing him back and that he's doing more. He was really wasted in the MCU. He was a really good character. It was a really good villain in Captain America: Winter Soldier. He was Crossbones, who is one of my favorite Captain America villains, and they just kind of wasted him. So the fact that he is going, he was in the animated Creature Commandos, he was in Superman, then he was in Peacemaker, now he's going to be Superman again. I just like seeing him pop up in things, so that's really good to hear.
Agreed.
Yeah, Rick Flag always played such a huge part in all of DC Universe at one point or another, Suicide Squad and all of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised with his, again, being in the first movie and Peacemaker, etc., that he's going to be in this movie. We'll just see what his role is and what his plan is in the movie. But yeah, that's a very good thing.
Yeah, Celeste also asking whether Peacemaker will have a small part in Man of Tomorrow. Well, he's been exiled on that Salvation Planet, whatever they want to call it. So at the end of Peacemaker Season 2, sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah, so I don't think, unless that kind of plays into Man of Tomorrow kind of somehow ends up there or something along those lines, they'd be leaving that for Season 3 of Peacemaker to kind of go there. So watch this space, I guess. We don't know. Anything is possible with James Gunn. Speaking of James Gunn, he announced the opportunity for fans to bid on a piece of cinematic history while supporting a worthy cause, a theatrical style poster for Superman, which has autographs across it from key cast members of the film, is currently up for auction on eBay, and it is going to support the Homes for Our Troops organization, which is dedicated to building specially adapted custom homes for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. So if you're interested in owning this piece of movie memorabilia and also want to support a good cause, then the link for the eBay auction is up on our website. I believe, yes, it ends on November 21st, so you still have time to get involved and bid on this poster.
It's a really good cause. I think it's really kind of sad that we in this country have to do things like this to support injured veterans. They it shouldn't have to be a Superman poster and people bidding on it to donate to that. So, and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm trying not to swear right now. As we've established,
careful, I have to
my
push that
profanity
7
is
seconds.
profuse. Yeah, it's just like, look, just saying.
Yeah,
I got jokes
No,
all
it's-
night.
yeah,
If you ain't stuff.
yeah. No, I mean it's a great cause, and it's again unfortunate that again I'm not going to go into it either, but it's yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's a good cause and something we need to do right now because various reasons. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's
Yes.
just good that
I'll leave it at
the entertainment industry can put their weight behind helping to push
Mhm.
these things so that so people can, one, bring awareness to it, and two, hopefully raise some money for the cause. All right, we are almost at the halfway mark of tonight's show, so we're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and then come back on the flip side to do This Week in History, the fan favorite segment of our show. We're going to talk about some merchandise, some books, some memorabilia, all that and more right after these messages, so don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
From chaos to hope, from uncertainty to a new vision, the complete chronicle of DC Studios' ambitious reboot. Every announcement, every casting choice, every milestone. Follow the entire journey of James Gunn's Superman, from the first announcement to the box office triumph, the definitive timeline of how a legend was reborn. From Steve Eunice, the owner of SupermanHomepage.com, comes the definitive chronicle of 2025's most anticipated superhero film, Beyond the Cape, now available on Amazon. The story behind the legend.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
SupermanHomepage.com? All right.
Hey, this is Christopher Gorham. You're on the Superman Homepage.
Hey, this is Sam Witwer, and you're watching Superman Homepage.
Hi, this is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman from Justice League Action. You're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is James Konachek, the voice of Superman.
This is Jeff Loeb, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is John Hames Newton, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is Jack O'Halloran on SupermanHomepage.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Daly, the voice of Superman, here on Superman Homepage.
Just try one. If you don't like it, it's easy to give up.
Uh-oh, nicotine. I'd better move fast. Up and away!
Go on, kid, go on.
Superman, is it hard to give up smoking, or is it easy like nicotine says?
You no good windbag, nicotine.
No, Superman. Leave me one. Please, I need one. Yes.
That's how hard it is. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
Well said, Superman. All right. Well, just clarifying something we reported last week, as John Patrick Van Pelt reminds us in the comments. The Jimmy Olsen series, the true crime series, that docu-series, the thing that will be on HBO Max, I think in 2027 at this point in time. It has been, we didn't report it, saying that it was called DC Crime. We never actually stated what title it would be, but James Gunn has confirmed that it is not called DC Crime. It's never been called DC Crime, but he didn't say that the thing is not in production. It pretty much is, but it's not called that. So we'll wait and see exactly what the title of the thing will be. But the story itself is true. Just the title is not the one that people have been reporting on. Just wanted to clarify that. Yes, Michael.
I was about to say, it's because we try to get things right on the show. That's why we didn't call it that.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a horrible name anyway, so there you go.
All
DC
right,
Crime.
and then next thing you know, it's called DC Crime, and then Mark is like thrown under the bus for saying it was a terrible title.
No,
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think that's what most people call the Snyderverse now. So.
Oh, good. Oh, there you go.
You're just zinging, just bazinging.
There's the clip to release, Steve, if you want like the worst ratio video of all time.
Oh wow. Yeah, look, some of the things that are going out there on social media at the moment about what's happening with Netflix and the Saudis buying Warner Brothers, and they're going to do the seriously reaching.
God.
I saw that this morning, and there's like, in fact, reports suggest, and I'm like, is that the trust me, bro, of this sort of thing? Like you know, I joke sometimes, like you know, according to something I just made up, and that feels like a lot of these sources.
100%. So it's just rubbish. But anyway,
do these people really believe this? That's what I mean. Do these people really believe it? Or
it's wishful thinking. It's clickbait. Take your choice.
They read that book, The Secret, and this is them trying to will it into existence.
It's on the internet. It must be true.
I think honestly, and this is this is partially joking, but I honestly think because they got the Snyder Cut, that if they say it enough, it'll happen. Because they got their way once. So obviously that means it's going to happen. But I you know, it's just like, you look at these things, and there was something circulating early on social media also last week of like, you know, it's just like, you know, wouldn't you love to see, you know, the Michael Keaton Batman Forever? And I'm like, no, because he didn't want to do that film. I just, these things happen, and we've got to just move on. Especially the thing that gets me is that they think that whoever buys Warner Brothers is going to ditch millions of dollars of development that they've done for these films. And I say that knowing that they did kind of ditch certain things when James Gunn took over, but that was kind of dying already. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like it's kind of putting something out of its misery, more of just trying to take over. So
I just felt bad for Henry Cavill with that whole thing. I mean,
really,
I mean, he was just, they sacrificed him for I don't know what. I mean, and it's not James Gunn or anything. It's just whoever was there at that moment at Warner Brothers. Just I don't know. I just feel really bad for him for that whole thing.
We have treaded this story for a long time now. It's time to, what do they say? Something about a dead horse. So, all right, moving on. We will get into the fan favorite segment of our show right now. All right, the fan favorite segment of our show. Michael, what was our question from last week?
What is your favorite Superman Funko Pop vinyl figure? And Mario Parra wrote, I have a few Superman Funkos, but my favorite is the 2025 Jumbo figure, largely for its size at 10 inches in height. I don't love the acrylic stands, but it's an awesome pose and stands out from the other figures.
Very good. Thank you very much. Mario, who was up next?
Mario?
Oh, sorry. Who was that?
It is Mario.
That wasn't that his name?
No, oh, that was Mario. Yeah, but you said
Yes.
Mario. What's up next? That's why
No, I'm not
confused
calling
me.
you Mario.
Never mind. Kara Lucker, and again, if I'm saying this wrong, please tell me exactly how to pronounce your name. But Kara Lucker wrote, "My favorite Superman Funko Pop is where he's dressed as Santa and revealing his ugly sweater under Santa's coat." Also, I was at Motor City Comic Con this weekend and saw the Superman red carpet premiere vehicle. I'll attach some photos I took of it. Feel free to use them.
Yes, thank you, Kara, for sending in these great photos from Motor City Comic Con, where that car was on display. And there is Kara herself. It's always good to put a face to a name. Thank you so much for showing those photos. And by all accounts, Motor City Comic Con was an awesome experience for Superman fans with Alan Tudyk, as she's been saying, one of the guests there. And seems like everyone had a great time. So thank you, Kara, for sharing these photos. All right, next up was Stephanie Logan, who said, "My favorite Funko Pop is Kara Kent from the TV series Smallville. I love the design and her outfit." Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Celeste Sims wrote, "My favorite set of Funko Pop vinyl figures are the ones inspired by the James Gunn Superman film. They are true to their character and very cute, especially Crypto. I also like that they are offered as keychains as well."
Very good. Thank you, Celeste. I'm just noticing that other than Mario, who we said at the very beginning, we had mostly females respond to the fan favorite question. So it's great to have the ladies as part of the show. Cara, Stephanie, Celeste, and yes, Mario, not discounting you. Thank you for being part of the fan favorite question this week. And our new fan favorite question for the coming week is a different one. You don't usually associate Superman with vehicles, but he has had a few toy vehicles over the years with different toy lines. So what is your favorite Superman toy vehicle? And why is it not the Supermobile? But no, in all seriousness, what is your favorite Superman toy vehicle? Get involved in the fan favorite segment of our show. The email address is on the screen right now. It is info@supermanhomepage.com. That's info@supermanhomepage.com. Send your emails to that address and we will read them out when we return to this segment next week. Do you guys have a favorite Funko Pop vinyl figure?
I gotta agree. I like the Santa one. I thought it was adorable. I've been gifted it twice, and I love the fact that people were thinking of me when they got it. It's just one of those things that it's different. There are some really cool uh, Funko Pops for Superman. My second favorite would be the black and white one. That looks almost like I mean, I know they did an Adventures of Superman one recently, but before that, this is the kind of one that stood in for that.
I do have one which I actually won during the Krypton series trivia that they had before the series began.
Oh yeah, cool.
And I won that from I won that from doing that. So
oh wow,
yes, I do have. It's just a regular, Superman Funko Pop.
Nice.
Yes,
yeah, very
I
cool.
won it from doing that. That was a lot of fun. I remember.
Yeah, the Funko Pops are obviously everywhere and everybody loves them, and they've done so many different versions. They've almost become a cult following of in and of themselves. But I got gifted the James Gunn Superman ones with Superman, Crypto, Lois, and Lex Luthor. And I love the fact that Lex Luthor has the coffee mug that he was drinking when he was saying, "What dog? What ugly?" That one, holding that in his hand as he's doing that. So they're really cool. But yeah, I just love the classic Superman Funko Pop vinyl figure. That's awesome. Anything with a shirt rip version is always cool as well. All right, that's the fan favorite segment for this week. Let's jump into This Week in History. Here we go.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, we are starting all the way back in 1945 this time with Action Comics number 92. Superman, obviously, giving these guys a break. Isn't it nice?
That's very nice.
He's doing something nice. You know that it's that we're getting towards the end of World War II, or the end of World War II, when Superman is digging a hole for people. So, 1965 is where we go next with Superboy number 126. I do not know what his problem with that car is, but whatever. I'm not gonna argue with him. We also have Superman number 183, which was an 80-page giant that showed off some classic Superman stories, all for 80 pages for 25 cents. What a bargain. And of course, it was that cheap because they didn't have to pay anybody to reprint those. Nothing in 1975, nothing in 1985. We're going all the way to 1995 with Superboy number 23, which is continuing the storyline with Knockout, which is very inappropriate when you look at things that she tried to do with Superboy. We also have Superman Toyman number 1, which was a tie-in to the Kenner Superman action figure line that we occasionally show action commercials for. I just realized, it's like 30 years ago that came out.
Crazy.
Oh man, I loved those figures. That was a fun little special too. And then Superman. Quick digression. They mentioned the figures in the regular Superman books too, in a Toyman story, and they had a cyborg Superman figure, and I'm like, would you really have a figure of somebody who committed genocide as part of your toy line for kids?
Well,
Okay,
if Toyman
whatever.
created it, probably.
Yeah. Superman, the Man of Steel, number 52, as we get closer and closer to the end of Trial of Superman. It's a great cover of Superman punching the cyborg. 2005, wow, 20 years ago this week, All-Star Superman number 1 came out. That was a huge deal. This was a big deal at the time. It eventually got to be less of a big deal because it got late. It took a while for all 12 issues to come out, but now everybody doesn't remember that, and it's just remembered as a beloved now audio drama. So yeah, I saw that and felt immediately old. And Supergirl number 3 came out of the Jeff Loeb written series, which had some good points and some bad points. Jumping ahead to 2015, we have Action Comics number 46, where we're continuing the whole Truth storyline. Bizarro number 6, which was part of the whole DCU initiative, as was Doomed number 6, which is somewhat ties into Superman at this point because he's at least on the cover. Earth 2 Society number 6. I'm mentioning that because Val Zod is a part of that book. Not that it's necessarily a huge Superman thing, but he was there. And the 3rd volume of J. Michael Straczynski's Superman Earth 1 series came out, and I really liked that series. I ended up really enjoying it at the end of the day. This one, the artist changed. It wasn't Shane Davis. It changed to Adrian Shaif. And I have to say that it was different, but not a step down by any stretch of the imagination. In the real world, we were mentioning him before, November 16th, Harry Lennox, who was General Swanwick, a.k.a. John Jones, a.k.a. the Martian Manhunter. In the Snyderverse, he was born in 1964. On November 17th today, in 2001, Justice League premiered on Cartoon Network. That was another huge deal. Cartoon Network really went all out for that. That was a really big premiere. Dylan Walsh from Superman and Lois was born in 1963, and ironically, in 2017, another Justice League came out. The Justice League, as some people like to call it. That was a film that had moving images in it. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. November 18th is the anniversary of when Superman number 75 was released in 1992. In November 19th, Reed Scott, who was the voice of Jonathan Kent on My Adventures with Superman, was born in 1977. November 20th, Jeremy Jordan, who was Win Shot on Supergirl and has one of the best singing voices on the face of the planet. He was born in 1984. And Phyllis Thaxter, who played Martha Kent in Superman the movie, was born in 1919 on the same day. And sticking with the Salkind-related things, Jeannot Swark, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, was born in 1939. He directed Supergirl and a bunch of episodes of Smallville. And that is This Week in History.
Thank you very much, Michael. Sorry I didn't have the Phyllis Thaxter image there, but some important dates this week. Superman number 75. Like, wow. I've seen Dan Jurgens correcting Comixology today. Their post said it was November 1993, and he's like, I'm pretty sure it was 1992. And so he corrected them there. But that anniversary falling this week. So thank you so much for This Week in History. All right. Let's push on into other areas of the Superman world. There is a new book coming out that you may want to pre-order. It is available to pre-order now on Amazon, and that is called The Superman Wars, A Battle for Truth, Justice, and an American Icon. It's by national best-selling author William Bernhardt. It tells the story behind the stories as far as all the ins and outs of the battles before in the court, the complex history of Superman with Jerry Siegel, the David and Goliath clash with twists and turns and devastating upheavals. So all the stories behind Superman, his creation, and what's been happening over the years with especially the Jerry Siegel side of the story in trying to win back the rights. So this is scheduled for release on April 28th, 2026. And is available to order as a paperback or pre-order as a paperback from Amazon as of right now.
That should be interesting. I don't think there really has been a definitive book about the legal side of things. I mean, we had Jeff Trexler on a couple different times back in the audio days. He was pretty much the lead dog on talking about that case. So that'd be kind of interesting to read. Hopefully it's not too, what is it, bitter?
Yeah.
Because there's always kind of the danger of that when talking about Jerry Siegel.
Especially when you go through the personal letters that he sent, which have been put out there, and, the manuscripts and things like that, I mean, there have been a lot of letters that Jerry Siegel sent to DC, begging and pleading, and then getting pretty nasty with his language in regards to, what he believed he was entitled to. And so, it could probably get pretty dark and depressing. But hopefully it's a good read, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
Agreed.
Yes.
John Patrick Van Pelt saying, any chance we can interview the author? Well, we'll reach out. Well, hopefully there are some contact details for William Bernhardt. We'll do our best to try to get him on at some point in 2026, closer to the release of the book, to talk to us about that. John Patrick Van Pelt asking also, how come Richard Donner never directed any episodes of Smallville? I guess
probably couldn't afford him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it is Richard Donner we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
Nothing against Jeannot Swark, but he did a lot of television directing.
Yes, that was his.
But Richard Donner, he did early on, and then became a big time, movie director. So.
Exactly.
I mean, Richard Donner did do television. I mean, he directed one of the most famous episodes of The Twilight Zone with William Shatner.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yes,
which was then redone for the movie, Spielberg's version.
For the movie,
of the movie.
John
Twilight Zone. Yes. Great adaptation. All right, let's push on to some other merchandise out there. DC Shop has released a new selection of Superman movie merchandise that just dropped this week. That include things like new T-shirts and hoodies. So it's their thing is now that's punk rock, and some of the items in there are this throw or blanket, which is that great ensemble poster image. That's a great one. There's this coffee mug. There's the T-shirt, which is another great poster image that they've put onto a T-shirt. And then there's this hoodie of Superman and Lois, artistic impression. So there's a couple of new items on the DC shop if you're interested in purchasing any of those. And that's, I'm guessing, all this new merchandise is kind of coming out right around the Black Friday sales. So you'll be seeing plenty of specials and things up available in the coming week or so. Also, some new movie merchandise. This one from, I think it's from, who? Let's see. The Superman with Crypto Real Elite Masterline figure. Let me grab the images for you here. So this is, who is it? Who's making this one? Let me just see who the creators of this one is. This is from Real Elite. Oh, it just says the Real Elite Masterline. I'm not sure who the maker. Prime One Studio. There we go. Prime One Studio announced their 1/3 scale Superman with Crypto Real Elite Masterline statue. You've got Superman and Crypto there, but it also comes with multiple different swappable parts. There is a different head sculpt that you can have the smiling face. There's a heat vision version, and then there are LED illuminations as well on the base. So that is a pretty cool looking statue, but it is a hefty price tag, $1,399, and it will be released in
we
February,
really
May next year.
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. What we really need to do with these from now on, Steve, is we need to do like let's make a deal type things where Mark and I have to guess the price of it, and and I'll always be the jerk. Mark will put like a price, and I'll do like $1 less, like on the show, and we just to see. Just to guess how much these things are, because as soon as you started talking about this thing, I'm like, and it's also $50,000. But if you sell a kidney, you should be able to get one. So, good Lord in heaven.
Well, it is quite hefty. Let's see, just a couple of comments about the book. Let's see a little bit. Kara says Brad Ricker's Superboys goes into depth about Siegel and Schuster's legal battles. Yeah, that's a little bit of a thinner volume, I'm guessing. This is, I think, over 400 pages long, this new one. But Larry Tyer's Superman, The High-Flying History of America's Most Enduring Hero is probably the definitive one. So I'll be interested to see if this new one goes as in-depth as Larry Tyer's book did.
Hopefully it's not as biased as Ty's book was, because that book could get it was pushing a narrative, and I get it. That's what you do with these things. You want to make it readable, but it's just like there were points when I was listening to it again last year where I was just like, man, this is really not middle of the road at all. This is not telling me what happened. It's telling me what I should think about what happened too. So.
Yeah, good point.
I'm bitter. I'm bitter because he was really hard on the post-crisis stuff, and I don't think he talked to enough fans of that era to really get a balanced view of it. But that's entirely beside the point.
No, fair enough. Also, action figures. There's a new one out from, this one's McFarlane Toys. They've got a DC New 52 Superman action figure. This is a 7-inch scale action figure. This is available to pre-order now. All right, do you want to guess pricing, Michael?
This probably be like $25.
$24.99. You're on the mark. This is expected to arrive in December, so just next month. So get it for yourself for Christmas. But yeah, this was the New 52 costume works well on action figures and statues, but I never really liked it in the comic books.
It depended on who drew it. I think it's one of those costumes where the artist that designed it drew it best, because I think Jim Lee's version of it was really good. Kenneth Rocafort did a pretty good version of it too, but it's just It's one of those things where like people either loved it or hated it. There was really not a whole lot of in between with the opinion on that costume.
Yeah, but that's a good looking action figure, so probably more in the affordable range for people who are collecting. And Celeste says not bad for the price. Yeah, so that's pretty cool action figure. All right, what else do we have out there? At the moment, there is a couple of different things that we can look at from the merchandise side of things. Igloo, I've got a couple of interesting collectible items that are available to purchase for Superman fans. There is this can. I'm just waiting for my page to reload. I don't know why that is not reloading, but it's... Let me see if there we go. It's a 16-ounce can tumbler. So you put your favorite beverage in there. And there's also a belt fanny pack cooler. I guess you store cans and things in this as well, so that you can carry it around with you and have a cold drink ready to go on demand. So that's available. Also for the beauty side of things, there is Mad Beauty's line of cosmetics. There's a cosmetic sheet mask. There is also the exfoliator duo pack. So for the ladies out there, there's the body care set as well. And there's soap on a rope. So that's from Mad Beauty. So yeah, some interesting items.
Do they have to choose the creepiest Superman face ever?
Yeah,
The Superman face on that's like the Superman. That's like the Superman that when he walks in the room, every woman in the place like puts their hands over their drink because there's just something about him that they don't like. So it's just like I think they could have done a little better with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, praise be his name's merchandising art on that one.
Yeah, cannot disagree. There's also these minifigs that from Hey Dolls. So they're little DC miniature collections, DC Guardians of Justice mini blind bag series. So you've got little figurines. They come in a little pack that you kind of just got to hope you don't know which one you're going to get, but they're little adorable kind of figurines. There's Clark Kent, there's Superman, there's Wonder Woman, Batman, and the rest of the Justice League and DC characters. Even Lex Luthor has got one there, and that's a big head for him. So yeah, there's some cool little figures available from Supplay and Hey Dolls. And that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Any last minute thoughts, guys? Anything you wanted to comment on before we say goodbye?
I'm just glad that we're getting a really good villain for the next Superman film. I think when you look at Superman's history in film, it's like the two villains are Lex Luthor and General Zod.
Yeah.
So now not only are we getting an actual sequel in this century, but we're also getting something that looks to be kind of exciting. And I'm now really pulling for Maxima. I really am.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mark?
I am too, now that you meant, because I didn't even think of that until you brought it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, you know,
all good.
I mean,
all right. Well, thank you so
there
much,
we go.
everyone, for tuning into Superman Homepage Live. Once again, thanks to all those who were with us live tonight watching and for your comments. We really appreciate that. A big thank you to my two co-hosts, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Michael. And Mark Lax. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, Cara Lucker, and Tina Murray. And remember, if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, just head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website, also on our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back or perhaps miss part of the show and want to check it all out all over again. You can do that at those locations. But we'll be back next week on Monday, November 24th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. I hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice. On behalf of myself, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax, thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.